Hello, James. It is Tuesday. Now, obviously, you know what you said yesterday, but I feel like saying again that you talked about girliness yesterday. Now, actually, I find this to be a pretty interesting point of conversation, not only because by the time Katie talks about it on Thursday, we will have had 3 guys discussing femininity, but also it's just something that I've thought about in the past. Not quite in the same sense that you have, but I have thought about it. To be more specific, I've never actually thought it was weird that girls sometimes choose not to be girly. If anything, I've kind of been jealous even that they have so many styles to choose from that are still, I don't know, sexy, attractive, and now I'm embarrassed. And I don't mean to make it sound like there are girly styles that I wish I could use, but can't, or even that guys don't have different style options, but the difference is, to me at least, like, I don't know, guys' style options, they all focus on masculinity. And really, if you have an effeminate style as a guy, chances are you're going to be labeled as gay. And trust me, I by no means want to attach a negative connotation to that, but labels are a dangerous thing, and I don't mean to say that girls don't get labeled too for what they wear or what they do, but I still can't help but feel that it's a slightly different situation. Like right now I'm thinking of this thing I saw at one point, I really can't remember where, so you'll have to take this with a grain of salt, but it does make sense to me just going by what I've seen, and that is girls have a much wider definition of what's attractive in a guy than guys have of girls. And I'm figuring that as a gender, guys just kind of have that sort of closed-mindedness when it comes to appearances, and that applies to men as well. Like, I mean, who's going to judge a guy for being effeminate? It's probably going to be other guys. So yeah, basically, long story short, we're kind of ruining everything, aren't we? Now, because I don't really have a point per se in all of this, like, I'm not really trying to argue anything, I'm just sharing my thoughts on this. But yeah, I'm going to move on. James, I find it really interesting that you chose my location as my qualification for getting rid of the 49th over, for example, that I'm studying engineering. Not to say that I'm any more qualified than you made me out to be, but even so, I found that amusing. My idea, though, is slightly different in that I propose that we take the 49th and we move it down south. And there are a number of ways we could go about doing this. My first thought is that we redefine how we count so that 49 falls in a location that's between, say, me and Jeff. Alternatively, we could physically push North America northwards so that the 49th parallel falls somewhere in the middle of us, but that would take a lot of helicopters. Yeah, I'm sticking to my first one. And as a final note, I personally am going to encourage derailing conversations because of how things are going to work here. It'll be better, I think, if we can have one fluent conversation that covers a bunch of non-sequitorial things. Is that a word? Whatever, you know what I mean. Yeah, I just mean to say that if we respond directly to the video in front of us, then we'll just end up talking about the same thing for the entire week. And then the next week we'll probably have to have James discuss something else that's new, and at that point we might as well just be doing theme weeks, so I think I've been rambling long enough now. So Jeff, I will see you tomorrow.